Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for installment of Scott Selections here for Sunday, May 7th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in hockey with the Oilers and Golden Knights over 6.5 goals at minus 135 on DraftKings. Brutal beat, probably the worst beat we've had in a month or so, as it looked like we were going to cruise over. Edmonton scored 4 goals in the first period, and we had 6 goals with roughly 18 minutes left in the third period. And unfortunately for us, there were no goals in the final 18 minutes. Had a great chance, but unfortunately for us, Vegas was down by so much, they didn't pull the goalie. Bunch of chances, bunch of power plays, and a couple of really nice saves by the goalies when they were already at 6 goals. I know Vegas switched goalies, and I thought Hill looked pretty good in relief. But either way, when you need 1 goal in 18 minutes, you don't get it. It's a pretty rough beat. But look for a bounce back winner here on Sunday. And for today's play today, going to pivot to basketball. Going to look at game 4 between the Nuggets and the Suns, taking place at around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And for this game, I'm going to take a player prop in this one. We're going to take Suns forward Kevin Durant over 29.5 points at minus 120 on DraftKings. Time recording of 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. Covering why we're going to take Durant over in this matchup. First reason, game 3, he went well over this number. He had 39 points in game 3. The interesting part is that he actually shot the ball terribly from the floor, and that has been the case for the last 2 games. But Durant scored 39 points despite only shooting 12 of 31 from the floor. Now, he got to the foul line a lot, but the point is Durant, we know, has been one of the best scorers in NBA history for his entire career, and I do expect him to shoot more efficiently moving forward in the series. But Durant, to go through his numbers in this series, is averaging 30.7 points per game, despite only shooting 44.2% from the floor. And for comparison, in the regular season, he shot 56% from the floor. Simply put, I think Durant's too talented to have 3 really awful inefficient games in a row. And I do think that Durant should look a lot sharper offensively in terms of his efficiency. It seemed like he started to get things going in the second half a little bit after he started. I believe it was 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 from the floor in the first quarter or so. But I do think Durant kind of found his groove a little bit, and I think he should be in line for a big game, especially based on some of the post-game press conference quotes Mike Malone said, Denver's coach, at the end of game 3. So to go through his quotes, he said, quote, their 2 best players did what they were supposed to do. They put their team on their back, had great nights. Our defense on Devin Booker was unacceptable. And he said later in the same podcast, he felt their defense on Durant was actually solid. And he's not wrong. I know Durant had 39 points, but once again, he went 12 for 31 from the floor, and you'll live with that. The problem is, or at least the reason why I'm going to pivot to Durant in this game, he specifically called out his team's defense on Booker and said that they have to guard him in particular better. I think as a result, Denver's main adjustment in game 4 will make sure that anybody besides Booker goes for 47 points again on 20 of 25 shooting. So I see Denver really sending a lot of extra help and attention on Booker, which might really set up a lot of good opportunities for Durant. Now, I'm not saying they're going to ignore Durant, but I do think if you're going to give Durant, one of the best scorers of all time, more one-on-one options or opportunities with limited help because they're all going to be looking out for Booker, I do think it's a good pivot spot off of Booker, especially based on what Malone said. He also talked about how Phoenix played faster with Chris Paul being out as Cameron Payne pushed the pace a little bit more. And as a result, that created some problems for Denver's defense and also resulted in more possessions because they were playing faster. So I do think with the added possessions with Payne at the point guard spot, and once again, Denver's defense honing in on stopping Devin Booker, I do think it's a very good game flow and game script for Durant to have a big game. Once again, he could hypothetically shoot poorly, but if he gets to the line double-digit times again, then he could easily go over. But Phoenix's supporting cast has really been non-existent so far in this series. They needed Durant and Booker to combine for 80-plus points to win Game 3. And I do think as a result, Durant might take this game at least, I don't want to say extra personally, but I do think he'll be extra motivated after having a bad shooting night back-to-back games. So I think that this point total is a bit too low. I think a lot of people will be on Booker because of what happened in Game 3. But once again, those post-game press conference quotes from Malone tell me that Denver's defense is really focused on game planning for him. And as a result, I do think Durant should be a pretty solid pivot point to go off for maybe 40 points in this game. So play that once again here for Sunday, May 7th is going to be on Durant over 29.5 points at minus 120 on DraftKings in Game 4. Bye, everyone.